The Anniversary Festival is upon us, and with it comes the opportunity for us to gain some special items that are going to help us with gaining more LOTRO points per character that we make. Some of you already may know what these items are, but for those that don't, we're after some maps. That's right, these 11 maps of Moria, when in our character's inventory, will reward us with an extra 10 LOTRO points alongside 300 marks, which I might argue actually helps the account out more. But considering they only cost 5 anniversary tokens each, means that we can get these maps with relative ease and then continue to use them well after the Anniversary Festival is finished. In the meantime though, we are doing a little bit of leveling. We're actually almost level 45. I'm just going to very quickly do the easiest mission to complete, which basically is just us standing here and finding a key that never moves. But once we do this, we should ideally hit level 45, which means we can actually start working on Moria. However, I have a feeling we're going to need to get some new gear for that. And I do have a plan, but I don't know if it's particularly worth it. I'm so glad this key never moves, but I think it would kind of be cool if it did move to a random spot. Though I also guess this could be quite a good way of farming Slayer, because I'm pretty sure goblins spawn every single time that we do anything wrong. Alright, mission is complete, and I'm pretty sure we are capped on these now. Yeah, we are maxed on those. When we get to 50, ideally, we can actually buy some new rings, which will be quite nice. But if all goes to plan, completing this should hopefully level us up to level 45, which is nice. We have a couple things to do. However, now we need to work on our gear. So while we do this real quick, I want to go over what my original plan for this whole thing was. So my plan was I wanted to get to level 45, and then that would kind of lead us into comfortably going to Angle of Mythithal, which once again rewards us with some relatively decent gear at level 40, which should hopefully then hold us through until Moria, at which point we can just get some of that stuff. However, I've been kind of running with some decent stuff. I kind of just searched through skirmish camps to see what I could get. This is some like Hall of Night stuff. I've never used it before, not gonna lie, but it seems decent enough. It's gotten me through all the stuff so far. However, I definitely think Moria is the way to go, since that is actually further than our entire account last time went. And as much as I want to go for Angle, if we have a quick look on the store, the Rangers of Rome, which is the Angle of Mythithal region, is 725, which is about double what we have now, which means we could do it. But is it better to spend the time on those LOTRO points just to get a bit of gear that we're then going to, you know, just move on from, or at level 45 go straight to our legendary, which should then obviously significantly boost us up? I have to do a little bit of thinking, but in the meantime I'm going to carry on doing some more festival stuff and making sure I get all those anniversary tokens that I need, because I'm only a few away. Okay, so I've realized something that we can potentially do, which should somewhat quickly gain us access to Angle and just solidify that extra gear, and that is reputation. We are now level 45. That means we can unlock a couple of quests, which should allow us to get some reputation. I've already gone and grabbed the reputation items that I'm looking at using. So that is, I'm looking at using the Bands of Numenor, because Tinadir Vestige of Man should be a pretty easy one to get done, especially at our level. The first stage relics are also pretty easy, considering it's Torrent's Hall. We should be a decent way among that, so I shouldn't actually need all 121. But we only have to do the first gear. Super easy quest. And finally, the one we're doing here, which is Scouts Among the Brunnen Gorges. Yeah, I'm just going to ever so quickly go about getting these quests done, and that should allow us, well, there's 150 LOTRO points there. That's like half of what we need. I think we need like 345 or something like that to get Angle now. So that plus another LOTRO point run, also with a couple of rep pieces added in. Yeah, I think we might be able to get there. I'll say normally I'm not one for actually going around and doing quests in the Troll Shores. However, I like that I kind of have 3 quests to just do the same thing. Kill some trolls, kill some trolls, kill some trolls, and since we're so over-leveled, it's pretty easy. Not really helping in terms of the experience part of it, but we can also make a little bit of headway onto the deed. So that's another nice reason to do all these, just to get started, get some travel skills and stuff like that. And if I'm right, scouts among the Bruning Gorges, there we are. We have to quickly pop over to this little area, but as soon as we do that, we can use these rep items. And alongside that, we also got 10 LOTRO points for the deed, so hey, that's pretty damn good. And here we are, just the elf I'm looking for. And with that quest, as said, these should now become available to use. I think we should have a few left over. Yeah, 6. But that's a pretty significant amount of rep, and on top of having the quest deed started, we are on 390. Is that right? No, 440. Oh yeah, it didn't update, but yeah, 440. We are only like 2 something away, but we've still got 100 to go. And here we are at High King's Crossing.
What can I do?
If I'm correct, we only need to do some quest. As in, like, we only need to do one quest line. And I think the easiest is repairing the catapult, because nothing should really attack us. Nothing should really be a problem anyway. But this is just go collect some stuff, go repair a catapult, kill 3 scouts, and stand on top of the tower. That's pretty much it. And then we get Tinadir Vestige of Man, head over to Tinadir itself, and then unlock the ability to use the Bands of Numenor. And then we have a level 6 quest to do. Though the only thing holding us back from previously doing it was the level 45 35 actually, I lied. The level 35 minimum level on the first stage relics. I think these are 30 as well. So at a push, I could even do this on some of the alts as well. But I think it might just take a bit too much time to get to 30 for 50 LOTRO points. Probably not all that worth it. Right, now this next part should be incredibly easy. The only reason I can see this going wrong is a roving threat. So fingers crossed, there's no roving threat. I guess we'll find out relatively soon. Kind of patrols this area, but hopefully I don't see him, because he's scary and purple name, and purple scares me. I guess today's our lucky day. No roving threat, or at least he hasn't come close enough yet, and we're done with that. Normally, when I'm doing this on level, I really struggle to get those Tomb Raiders, but I guess today we were lucky. And then, arguably, the easiest quest that we could possibly have for this. Head up here, have a little look around, head back down, and we're done.
What do you need?
I don't think we can make any use of this, but I'll grab some morale pots, because why not? And finally, we have Tinadir Vestige of Man. We've just got to head over here and we're done. All right, once we complete that, that is the Bands of Numenor, if we can use them properly, all ready to use and few left over, because hey, why not? That is another 50 LOTRO points, and next is our really, really easy level 6 quest. See, the thing is, I totally understand why they added level caps or level requirements to these items, but this one's always confused me. It's a level 6 quest, and we have to be level 35 in order to use the item. Seems a little skewed. Everything else kind of makes sense. Level 30, and it's about a level 30 quest, but this one's always been weird to me. Especially considering how easy that was. Just jump off the side, and that's us done. Probably quicker to use our travel skill as well. I think it would have probably made more sense to have it be a Sarnor-related quest, but I'm not sure if that really matters. But once we do this, we should be able to use our first stage relics, and it's only probably going to give us like 45, because we've already done a little bit of rep previously. So not perfect, but we need that like 25 anyway, so it kind of actually works out better. I'm actually interested to see which ones it will be. 45, and that also means we can actually go over to here, and we can get ourselves another horse. Actually, no, a goat. Sorry, that will help us actually in our Moria adventure. By default, the first goat you get in Moria is actually in like 32% speed, much like the special one we now get for the a little extra never hurts or whatever it was. But going here actually means we can at least get a 62 speed goat, which obviously helps us out in Moria. Really, the main thing we want to do at some point is get the Journeyman Riding bundle. That way we get riding anyway per character, but also we can actually just, you know, have 78% on everything. But if I'm correct, it should be in here a prized Thorin's goat steed, or goat, sorry. 62% speed, probably worth the 5 gold to be honest, and also a couple other things. If we were a dwarf, we'd actually have some use there. I wonder, can we use the elf thing? Now that we're kindred with elves, is there an elven virtuous one? I'm pretty sure there is. Is it not? This one? Is that useful? I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. Honestly, I don't think we use any of those, so probably not a big deal. And as we make our way into Angmar, we actually complete the final part of the Villages of the Earthkin Deed, and also start the Bastions of Hope, although I'm not really going to worry about that too much. But with that quest completion, does net us our 725 Lotro points. Please, don't steal my Lotro points. My 725 Lotro points, which means that we can now purchase Angle of Mythithel. And ideally get through it in a relatively quick manner. And in doing so, we unlock ourselves a nice new set of bound to account gear. However, it's not really going to become useful in the same way the Yondershire gear is, because it's level 40, but it's certainly going to give us a little helping hand on our little journey to Moria. And with our reputation increase right there, we have a very important thing to buy, and that is Guide to Tornhead. Being free to play, quite frankly, travel sucks. If we look at our stable master, we can travel to and from places, but we can't do any swift travels. So having more or as many guide skills as humanly possible is kind of our best bet, because that way we can go there, and it's a bit of a pain getting back to the top, but it saves us quite a lot of travel in the long run. If we actually look at the gear that we obtain from Angle and compare it to what we have from the Fornos Classic Skirmish vendor, in some situations you could actually see it as a downgrade. But to be honest, I think it's still a better choice for us, mostly due to the fact it's newer armor to the game. As nice as the skirmish armor is for us, in some cases it is still giving us stats that aren't too useful at this stage of the game, or at all for this character like Might and Will. Vitality versus maximum morale is more dependent on the class that we use, but we aren't really struggling for morale currently, so a little less morale for an overall damage increase is well worth it in my opinion, even if we're pretty much immediately going to be upgrading in Moria. And with the completion of that quest, I'm pretty sure I've done every single quest in Angle now. Only took us a little under 2 hours, which is not actually all that bad, and we got quite a lot of virtue experience out of it. On top of that, we did get some Lotro points as well. Not too much, obviously, but we did get 45, so we're only negative 680 now from what we spent. But we do now have our nice new set of gear. Unfortunately, obviously we only get one piece of jewelry per, but I'm sure we can live without it. There's a couple situations, again, where because it's lower level technically, we're actually going to be losing stats in some cases. So we're now at 19.4. I think we were at like 17.6 before, and we're now 114.3. Bearing in mind, I think we were actually level 45 at the time, but also on top of that, we were at like 88.6 or something like that. So a nice significant boost ready for the next stage. And that next stage starts right here at Ekadunan, where we're going to pick up our travel, and we're also going to go talk to Rathwold so that we can start getting our legendaries. So I actually have this unofficial rule with this expedition quests over here, where if I actually plan on keeping the character, as I do with this hunter, I kind of have to do them, because if you don't, you can't come back and do them later. It also helps us get a little bit of over-leveled experience, plus some extra tracery items, which will hopefully just, help out with the whole legendary item situation that we are kind of gunning for at the minute. And hey, would you look at that, we pretty much immediately got an upgrade, which is kind of what I predicted. I really don't want to do the Fall of Moria, but more specifically what we do want to do is a Weapon of Elder Days, which will give us our legendary and also quick shot damage, which is just a pretty decent tracery. So that's legendary number 1, and off to Rivendell we go. I'm gonna go get the milestone just because I don't quite feel like walking back, to be honest. So before we get into chapter 12, what I do want to do is just equip that weapon. So we got a nice little damage boost of, what is that, like 26 DPS, which is pretty nice. But more importantly, the potential for growth. And we do have our Heraldry of the Serpent, which should boost our morale and just damage, and also quick shot damage, and that increased our damage by 31.5% when using quick shot. So yeah, definitely gonna use that. And we are officially into Moria, and this is, well, we've been ahead for a little while, but we are officially further ahead now than the previous account ever was. We never actually got Moria because we still had to buy it, but obviously this account with the new free-to-play changes, or the since happened free-to-play changes, means that we can just, you know, chill out in Moria without having to buy it, which is pretty damn good. So we did get a Dodger of the Watcher, which is already just better than the Helmet of Methythel, minus the crit, but I think we can sacrifice that, to be honest. And we also, if we go talk to Tolk, we should get our second legendary, so we're going to get our sword, which is a nice change for us. And I don't think we can reforge it, but we can always just, you know, equip it anyway. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so one thing I'm definitely learning from this whole situation is I really need some inventory space. Though that said, I can very easily get rid of most of this stuff. We don't need it anymore because we've just got upgrades. So that does save us a little bit of space. And if we open up these tracery things, we can hopefully, fingers crossed, get some stuff. But we also do have this from a little while back. I actually haven't been spending too much effort on getting these ones specifically, but we have the bonus legendary item boost, which will reward us with not only some enhancement runes rare, but also a sealed tracery incomparable. So this actually scales with our level, so we can, you know, when we get to 86, 87, whatever, these will actually continue to scale to those correct levels. But we can open this, and distracting shot cooldown and resistance reduction, not exactly something I was interested in. However, this opens up the opportunity for, with missions, for us to get full teal traceries pretty much straight away. So I'm going to try and do that for a bit. In the meantime, though, I have a lot of enhancement runes. A lot more enhancement runes than I could possibly ever need, considering we can only go up to like 51 on these. 52, I lie. But yeah, that's my goal for the next little bit. I would like to get 8, well, presumably 8 teal traceries that are somewhat useful to us. And missions, I think, are going to be the way to do it. Because getting tracery tokens is a real hassle. But with that said, that's going to be it for this episode. I pretty much got everything I wanted to do. We've leveled up our character, we've gained a new quest pack, and potentially some bound to account gear that we could potentially trade over for some reason. And more importantly, we have surpassed the previous account by entering Moria and gaining our legendary items, which is just pretty damn cool. So I've got a little bit of work I need to do to actually get those items up to scratch, but hopefully that shouldn't be too bad. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.